So these ones are the next level of challenging because not only do we have variables in the expressions here, we have variables in the powers as well. So we have variable base and variable powers. So this is kind of next level of how do we really understand what we're doing. So first thing is, if I want to go from outside to inside, okay, I have to power up everything on the outside to get it in the inside. That's the first piece. The other piece is this is multiplication, so when I introduce it into here, I have to introduce it as multiplication, which means then I have to group this one piece as a factor and put it in brackets. Okay, I have to treat that as a multiplication piece, so that's important. So that's the first part. Okay, now that it's multiplication, I can multiply into the brackets. Okay, so I get 9 times 9, that's going to be 18. So I get square root 18. A's with A's, so I get a squared times a to the power x. Now, I don't know how many x's I have here, but if I understand exponents, this tells me that this is all connected by times. This x tells me how many a's I'm using to multiply. This means I have 2 more a's to multiply. So if I want to express this new exponent, I can say that I have x a's. I'm just going to add 2 more a's as multiplication, because that's what I've done here. I've got 2 more multiplied by a. Now, I have to now remember I'm now doing exponents, but I also have to deal with this plus, which means I have to distribute. So I'm going to have a plus. 1 times 9a squared is just going to give me the 9a squared like that. So there's my answer. Okay, I've now got the outside inside by powering it up. I distributed. When I came across this a to the x, all I have to remember is that this exponent counting multiplication. Although I don't know how many a's I'm multiplying here, I know I have 2 more than what I started with, so I'm going to just do x plus 2. So this here, same idea. I've got an index of 4. That means I need to power that up by 4 to go from outside to inside. So that's my first piece. Okay, so I've got, and this really is x to the power a 4a. And then I have my factor of 2x. There's no pluses in here, so this is actually easier than the first one. Now that I've got everything inside, I can express it inside. This is going to be x to the 4a times 2x. Okay, well 2, there's no numbers. Remember when we're multiplying these expressions, it's numbers is numbers, x's with x's. So I'm just going to have the number 2. And then I have x 4a times x. Well, how often? It's all connected by time, so this is compatible with exponents. How many x's do I have multiplied? Well, I know I had this many, and I'm just going to multiply by 1 more x. I'm going to go plus 1 to count 1 more x in multiplication. And so there it is. I've got this now went from outside to inside. This is a little bit easier than going from inside to outside. We have to be really careful about finding multiplying pieces if we're going to do any kind of radical algebra.